Welcome to my new video series called Conversations with Dimi. You know me from the Mindshift video series, and recently I I decided, with the help of the person who you're gonna see today, with his wisdom and presence, helped me to really rethink of how I want this to call this video series. It felt right to call it like this, and I would love to hear also your opinion, guys. So whatever you want to share with me, just share it. So in conversations with Dimi, I'm gonna just share the perspective which I have here, uh, which was created with how I see the world, and also the coach and the team which I'm working. And the way I see it is that there is no, I don't know if there is a intimate, not intimate, sorry, we're going to talk about intimate today, but ultimate truth in this world. I don't know that, but I know that this world, the universe, is having everything prepared for us, and it's a space we can create absolutely everything from nothing. But the way we are gonna create that, it depends is how you see the world, our perspective. So here in these conversations with me and the people who are here with me, we are gonna help you, and our intention is to bring you perspectives which are helping you to create a life of prosperity, love, satisfaction, and presence, and being connected to yourself, other people in the world in a way that you enjoy life. So today we are going to talk about the topic which it's very. I'm very curious about this topic, and I've been having a lot of uh, great moments around this topic, also a lot of challenges. And the topic is the power of intimacy. And we're going to talk about relationships, what kind of relationship we have with ourselves, other people in the world, how we can create stronger, more transformational relationship, how we can use intimacy, how we can actually utilize intimacy in a way that we really create a great life for ourselves and the people around us. So we're going to talk also about men and our power and how we can use it more in the world. But the central theme, it will be intimacy and how we actually can create it for ourselves. And I'm really looking forward to talk to the guy who is here, Bodhi Aldridge. He's from Australia. He's one of my co-authors in the Visionary Male Leaders book, which you see behind me. And yeah, I'm gonna just give you the word now, Bodhi. Just share more about you, and we're gonna start unfolding the topic we are here for. Welcome.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dimi. And yeah, conversations with Dimi. Very exciting. I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
And, even in the introduction, Dimi, there's so many juicy topics that you've already touched on. Like these conversations can go on and on and on. And, like I know we've got a few areas we're going to, focus on today. And for the listeners, a little bit about myself. As you say, I was a co-author in the book with you about visionary male leadership. And, I've been coaching and teaching around the globe for the last 20 years and, working with corporate, working with leadership teams, working with young men, rites of passage, all the different aspects of, predominantly, I guess what I would call the hero's journey. Yeah, and we'll talk more about the masculine and feminine. It's not gender based yet. For a lot of men, they live in their masculine. The heroine's journey is different to the hero's journey. And the hero's journey is built around rites of passage. It's built around inquiry. It's built around intimacy with self, relationship with self, and ultimately our intimacy with life. All the aspects of life as a man living in his masculine, in 2022. What does that mean? And that's been my journey, the inquiry, the challenges, all of the different layers to it. So, yeah. And, to me, growth-minded men is a big part of it. There's a lot of men who have that mindset, as you mentioned, perspective of wanting to grow and learn. And I think that's such a beautiful ingredient and such a key ingredient for a lot of intimate relationships as well.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you for sharing that. And I definitely know your power, your presence, and um, today people are gonna see it and feel it and experience that. And I'm saying that to everyone who is listening. Just be here with us, be present with what we're gonna talk about, and experience what we are unfolding here. Not only hear it, but experience it. So, wow. Let's start talking about the stuff we are here for. So let's talk about relationship first, right? So when people hear relationship, yeah, in general, people know, okay, one person, the other person with relationship, with intimate or friendship or whatever. So, but I think um, most people consider me as well. Until several years ago, I didn't have a big understanding of what is actually a relationship. I was in relationships in a way, but I didn't know what is relationship. So I'm curious now to hear from you, and I'm going to share also my opinion. What is actually a relationship?
Yeah, yeah. As you say, one of the fundamental things, and whether I teach this in the boardroom to corporates, yeah, or whether I teach it to couples, or whether I teach it to young men, when we hear the word relationship, most of us think it's with another person. But the key to relationship is the relationship you have with yourself. That's where it starts. That's where the hero's journey starts. Getting to know yourself. And it's interesting because a lot of people say one of the most important things in relationship is communication. Yet the key to that is the way you communicate with yourself. 80,000 thoughts a day, most of them are negative.
Yeah.
The most powerful tool you have to communicate with yourself are your emotions. Your emotions are giving you information all the time about what you're experiencing in the world, what meaning you're giving the moment. And so that's a big part of relationship, communication. And then when we extend that, when you put two or more people together, you create a relationship. And it does depend on the context, and I'll talk more about context. Yet fundamentally, relationship is about connection. Yeah, that's the central piece.
Yeah.
And then intimate relationship, which we'll talk about, is relationship is the container. It's evolving. It's not static. It's the container from within which you live your life and live the life if you're in an intimate relationship. And there are different stages of relationship. Again, if we focus, certainly on the hero's journey, our relationship with ourselves and also with our beloved in intimate relationship.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So that goes so much deeper in actually what is that. And my take on that is that yes, first of all, people need to see more holistically relationships, and that will help them to understand that they're all the time in some kind of relationship. It doesn't matter if it's with themselves, with the world, with other people, with their house, whatever they are. And I'm gonna use the word relationship in a way that it makes sense that the core of this word is relate, right? So it's how do you relate to yourself? How do you relate to other people, with the other people? How do you relate to life? And yesterday I had a great session where we were talking about that we don't go in depth with these things to understand that this is how we need to see the things. Like in their depth, not just on the superficial way, in the superficial way. So how do I relate to myself? Do I relate to myself with love, or with fear, or with hatred, or with anger? How do I do that? And uh, and then how do I do that with other people? I love, for example, how one of the people, we were in the meeting yesterday in the session, he was just saying, we were talking about wife. We're gonna talk more about this later, but I just want to share it here. And he said, I am creating my wife every single moment. I'm doing that because the way I do that every single moment, even I when I say to her, I am creating her with my words, the way I relate to her with my mind.
Yeah.
And I think this is the core of all of this, to learn how to do that, and to first become aware of how actually we are already doing it, because most of the time this is on autopilot, and we just got it, we just accept it, and we don't actually make this reflection on that. Is that healthy relation towards myself and other people, or no? So I'm super excited because we are going to talk a little bit more about how actually we can make it healthier and more powerful, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it does lead to the point. The way you meet the concept of relationship, particularly if we talk about intimate relationships, relationship with your beloved, and that's not gender based, whatever that might be, same sex, man, woman. It depends on where you are on your hero's journey. And so the three common stages of relationship, a lot of people are in relationship, which is a reactive relationship. Yeah. And the underlying current of a reactive relationship is, what can I get from this relationship?
Wow.
Yeah. And that's when often people are looking for somebody to complete them, or they're still in their wound and they're taking their wound, and the other person's taking their wound to the relationship. Again, it's not good or bad. It's just a stage of relationship, but it's not often as fulfilling, because it is built on that illusion of separateness, that what can I get from this person? What do I need from this person? The next stage of relationship is what you could call a creative relationship. A creative relationship changes from what can I get to what can I give. Yeah. And there are some real key parts to a creative relationship. Yeah. But very much that's the context. You start to realize that this is a relationship where I can bring things, I can give things. Yeah. And the four key parts to a creative relationship.
Yep.
First is connection.
Just talk on, yeah.
Yep. First is connection, and I'll talk through them. Second is commitment. What am I actually committed to? The third is curiosity. And the fourth is context. And so these are the four pillars of a creative relationship. And the next stage of relationship, you can move into a transformational relationship. This is when we start to move into conscious relationship, sacred relationship. Yeah, it becomes a transformation. And that moves from not just what can I give, but who am I being?
Wow.
There is no separateness. The illusion of separateness is dissolved. I'm 100% responsible. Like the comment that was made yesterday in your group, you're moving into that place of 100% responsibility. It's not about the other. There is no separateness. Who I'm being in this moment, I'm creating this moment, I'm creating this relationship in this moment. Yeah. And when people are arriving at that stage of their own development, their own hero's journey and relationship, and if they're matched by their beloved, then you move into that incredible transformational, conscious, sacred, divine, that whole different field. And it's a journey.